Welcome to File Archiving and Compression Commands. After watching this video, you will be able to distinguish file archiving from file compression, create archived files and unpack them, and apply commands to compress, decompress, and extract files from archives. Archiving and compression are distinct processes which are usually combined. Archiving is the process of storing information that you don't use regularly, but want to preserve. An archive file is a collection of data files and directories that are stored as a single file. Archiving makes the collection more portable and serves as a backup in case of loss or corruption. File compression, on the other hand, involves reducing the size of a file by taking advantage of redundancy in its information content. The main advantages of compression include preserving storage space, speeding up file transfers, and reducing bandwidth loads. Now, suppose you have created a notes directory for keeping track of your course materials. You decide it would be a good idea to archive your notes in case you need them in the future. Your notes directory tree has the following structure. It contains two subfolders called Math and Physics, each of which contains files called by the same names, Week 1 and Week 2. Using the ls command with the -r option, you can recursively list all the directories and files in your current directory tree. You can see the correspondence with the graphical representation of the tree, starting with the parent notes directory, the Math and Physics subdirectories, and the Week 1 and Week 2 files within the Math and Physics folders. You can use the tar or tape archiver command to archive and de-archive files and directories. A popular term for an archived tar file is a tar ball. To archive your entire notes directory, including its subdirectories and all files within, enter the command tar-cf, a name for the archived file such as notes.tar, followed by the file or directory you wish to archive, which is notes. The C option means create a new archive, and the F flag tells tar to interpret its input from file rather than from the default, which is standard input. Entering ls shows that your current directory now contains the original notes folder as well as the notes.tar archive file. If you would also like your archive to be compressed, you can enter the same command, except now you include the -z option, which filters the archive through a GNU compression program called gzip. Adding the suffix .gz to the output name ensures that Windows-based programs, for example, will correctly recognize the file type. Entering ls now shows the compressed notes.tar.gz file that you created. You can check the contents of your archived notes file by calling tar on your notes tar ball with the -t or list option. This lists all the files and directories in your tar ball. And as expected, it has the same structure as your original notes folder, with notes as the parent directory, Math and Physics as subdirectories, and Week 1 and Week 2 files at the terminal nodes. You can also unpack or de-archive your archived files using the tar command. You can enter tar-xf, followed by the archive file name, notes.tar, plus an optional destination name, for example, notes, which happens to be the default. The -x option tells tar to extract file and directory objects from the archive. Now, if you enter ls-r, you can see that the archived notes folder has been de-archived into a parent folder called Notes, subfolders called Math and Physics, and the 4 Week 1 and 2 files you started with. This verifies that the original structure of your notes directory is intact. Similarly, you can decompress a tar.gz file and extract the files from it. To unpack and decompress the notes.tar.gz file, you can enter tar-xzf, followed by the compressed archive file name, notes.tar.gz, and an optional destination folder, Notes. Again, by entering ls-r, you can see the directories and files have been unpacked as expected. You can use the zip command to compress files and directories and package them into a single archive. Notice the order of operations that zip implements. Zip compresses files prior to bundling them, whereas tar, with the -z option, achieves compression by applying gzip on the entire tar ball, but only after bundling it. To compress your notes directory and package it to a zip file, enter zip-r notes.zip notes. And after entering ls, you can see that the notes.zip archive has been created. The unzip command, as you might guess, extracts compressed files from a zip archive and decompresses them. To unzip your notes.zip file, simply enter unzip notes.zip. After entering ls-r, you can see that unzip has created your notes folder and unpacked your directories and your week 1 and 2 files as expected. In this video, you learned that the main advantages of file compression include preserving storage space, speeding up file transfers, and reducing bandwidth loads. You can use the zip command to compress files and directories and package them into a single archive of compressed files. You can use tar to archive files and directories into a tar ball, and optionally apply gzip compression to the tar ball file. You can use unzip to unpack and decompress a zipped archive. And finally, you can use tar to decompress and unpack a tar.gz archive.